Really nice to see such a nice turnout. I think there's more people here than at the actual 3MT, which I guess just shows you the allure of free food. So, like Mark said, my name's Yoah. I'm a fourth-year PhD candidate in kinesiology, and I've had the pleasure, I suppose, of participating in the 3MT 3 times. So, you're going to hear the number 3 come up a lot. If you want, you can take a bite every time you hear the number 3. You'll be done your lunch, maybe. So, I've done the 3MT 3 times. I did it in 2016, 2017, and last year in 2019. I've made top 20 each time. So that was obviously a very valuable experience for me. But actually, last year I won the Western one, which was, very humbling, I suppose. And then I also won second place in Ontario, and I also won the Competitor's Choice in Ontario as well. So overall, I've had to give the same 3 minutes many, many times, to the point where I dream about it now. But I think the tips and sort of the journey that I've taken can really provide some insight to any of you potential students who want to do the 3MT, which I absolutely recommend everyone do. Okay, so why did I do the 3-minute thesis? And why did I do it 3 times specifically? There's a lot of different answers, I suppose, that people could give in general. Obviously, one is the prize money. So it's $1,000. Let's break it down. It's $1,000 if you win first place, all right? $500 for second, I think, $300 for third or something like that. But it only takes 3 minutes, right? So 3 minutes is a 20th of an hour. And if you take $1,000 and you divide it by a 20th of an hour, which I actually had to go and use a calculator for, you get $20,000 per hour. So that's pretty lucrative, right? I mean, if I could just do this, I wouldn't be here, let me tell you that. So obviously, that's a big piggy. But of course, we need to account for all the time that it takes to prepare and what goes in to $20,000 an hour. So personally, if you're doing 20 hours of prep, which is 3 minutes times many, many times, an hour of competition, 3 years, and countless coffees and donuts, it ends up being, I think, closer to $3 an hour, which, it's not livable, but it's something, right? Okay. Your experience might vary, though. So probably not the prize money. Probably not why I'm doing it. What about the fame, right? How many people here have heard of me before today? It's not the fame. It's not the fame. Okay. Probably, what about the friends, right? You get to meet people who are in your position. They're doing great, complex research, and they break it down, and you're able to hear such interesting and diverse, research and fields and everything, right? And you get to meet these interesting people. But I made no friends, so it's not friends either. What about to reach out? And I'll tell you what I mean by that. So I think, personally, that's what I think means, translating your research is the 3MT is a fantastic platform to translate your research, okay? So if we take a circle and we think about what we do as researchers, we have our little niche and we go into it and we're super complex, super robust in what we do, but it's not exactly something that the public or necessarily even other researchers in different fields are that aware of or can really understand, right? And so what the public understands is kind of in this other separate circle. But the 3MT, what it does is it gives you an opportunity to mend these 2 circles together, right? So you're giving an opportunity to give your research, give what makes your research so cool and important and impressive, a platform to tell everyone else what you're up to and why you're still in school after all this time. Don't worry, Mom, it'll pay off. Okay, so for me, the 3MT is my opportunity to tell you why me and my work are interesting, important, and impressive. And you're going to hear those 3 things come up again. So now I just want to take you through the 3 years, kind of, you can see tangibly what my progress has kind of been, what I did. I won't show you the whole 3 minutes because, to be honest, like I said, I kind of have nightmares about it. But I highly encourage you, if you are interested, to go and look at this on your own. But we're just going to go into my first one. Okay, so this is 2016, second-year master's. Let's see how young Yoah does.
I'd like to start by having everyone stand up, please. Now, I know it's a bit unorthodox to stand during a presentation, at least for our brain, but trust me, our bodies love this. Really, it's more that our bodies dislike sitting. Because see, sitting, our body sees as a rest position. And we know this because after 2 minutes of sitting, you burn 90% less fat. After 2 hours, we have a marked decrease in insulin sensitivity, and excessive standing is a risk factor for almost every chronic disease. And the problem only gets worse the longer you sit. But luckily for us, we have a built-in prescription right at our fingertips. Really our toe tips. Simply standing, even for 3 minutes, is enough to kickstart our bodies. Coping strategies to reduce their sitting while studying, not only do they sit less, but they take longer breaks, and they take breaks more often. And like I said before, it only takes about 3 minutes of standing to kickstart our bodies. So for you guys, not only do you get to hear about my amazing research, but you get to be a little bit healthier. And in exchange, I get a standing ovation. Not bad.
Okay, so here's my slide from that year. All right, and if you didn't hear my amazing joke, I basically had everyone stand up at the beginning, and then at the end I told them why standing is good for your health, and then I was like, I also get a standing ovation. And then everyone laughed, and we all had a good time. So this is my slide from that year. You can kind of see it. I kind of went through this behavioral model. I actually commissioned a local Western artist or art student to do this for me. I'm not very talented, at least not in this regard. Okay, so looking back, I usually, after every presentation, I reflect on 3 things. What did I do that I liked? What did I do that I thought was impressive, or that I think was really effective, that people tend to like, that I want to keep doing? And at the same time, I also thought about what did I do that I disliked? Things that maybe were less effective, things that I probably won't do again, I didn't feel the most comfortable doing. And then maybe most importantly, did I get my message across, right? Because for 3 minutes, we still have to have a very sort of discrete message that we want to send. So did my audience understand my message? Okay, so things that I liked. Humor. That's just my thing, but I think I'm pretty funny. I laugh at all my jokes. So I'm the funniest person I've ever met, and I think it's really effective for my presentations. So I like that. Body language, right? I gesticulate a lot. It's kind of hard with a mouse and a microphone, but I do gesticulate a lot, and I think it's really effective for kind of drawing my points. And I think I really liked my unique intro and outro. It's memorable, right? People kind of are able to remember my presentation afterwards, even if they don't remember exactly what I said. Of course, I have this issue a lot. I did talk pretty fast, right? It's the nerves, it's having rehearsed it so many times that you think that you know what you're saying, so everyone else knows what you're saying. So talking a bit fast. And then I think I use too much jargon, right? If you go ahead and listen to my actual presentation, you'll notice that I say things like health action process approach, intention behavior gap, action and coping planning. These kinds of things aren't that difficult to explain if you have more time. But certainly in 3 minutes, it's kind of unreasonable to expect my audience, who has no background, or maybe limited background, to really get that. And because of that too, I think my slide was a little bit too busy. It's nice to look at, but I think it just had too much on it, right? So those were things that I wanted to improve on. So overall, did I get my message across? I was close, I think, but probably not. But if you watch it at 75% speed, it's a little bit better. So there's that. Okay, so moving on to my second year. Next year, I thought I'd give it another shot. Let's see how I did.
The rules of the 3-minute thesis are simple. 1 slide, 3 minutes, and no props or aids. But I have to be honest, I have brought props. In fact, you're all sitting in them right now. That's because my research deals with sedentary behavior, the science of sitting, and how we can use mobile devices to modify that behavior. Does that make me a cheater or just resourceful? It's about how you frame it. It's not just university students, but all students, sitting less and staying healthier. So stand up for your health. That's my message. Will you rise to the challenge? That's your call.
Here's my slide from that year. This I made myself. So again, reflecting on things that I liked, things that I disliked, and whether I got my message across that year, I kept the humor. Or at least I think I did. Because I think it's a really effective way for me to get my message across, to feel more comfortable talking to a lot of people, right? Body language. I kept the body language, my hands, the way I move my arms, eye contact, that kind of thing. I kept the unique intro and outro, right? I think my pace greatly improved, right? At least now I'm pretty intelligible when I speak, and you can kind of get what I'm saying without having to slow down the video. I had some cool hair. Can't understate that. And I had the key questions on the slide, which I think was really provocative, right? Because when your audience reads it, they're like, oh, okay, that's kind of what we're getting at here, right? What we're thinking about. So, didn't talk as fast. I think I got that off my list. Didn't use too much jargon, right? Analogies, that kind of thing. But my slide was still too busy. It's nice to look at, I'm not going to lie. I made it. But if you had more time to look at it, I think it would be more effective, right? People are going to listen to you talk, or they're going to read what's on your slide, but they're not going to do both, at least not very well. And the most important part of your 3MT is you. So, slide too busy, I think. Stage presence. I didn't really move from that one spot. I'm kind of blocked by a podium here, but I didn't really move from that one spot despite using good body language, and that's something that I wanted to work on. I wanted to use my entire stage. So that's something I wanted to improve on. So overall, was my message clear? Yeah, I think my message was pretty clear here, but was it important? Did I make it come across as important and impressive? It was interesting, but I don't think it was important. Okay, so let's look at my final year here. Spoiler alert, I win.
I have a secret to tell you. Psychic. No, really. I bet I can tell you what you did yesterday, what you're doing today, and what you're going to do tomorrow. In fact, it's the same thing you're all doing right now. It's sitting. Okay, so obviously I'm not actually psychic, but I do know the average Canadian spends almost 11 hours a day engaged in sedentary behaviors, like sitting, reclining, or lying. And not the lying I was doing, but lying down. When you think about it, remember how much sitting we do as Canadians? It's a lot. And the problem is, there are no guidelines for sedentary behavior, unlike physical activity. But if we can show that changing our sitting can positively impact our subjective well-being, well then maybe we can inform guidelines. Maybe we can improve the health of all Canadians. Maybe we can make life a little more satisfying. So please, stand up with me. It's honestly to make me feel better, but it might make you feel better too. Thanks.
Hey. So here's my slide from that year. If I had a nickel for every time I made people stand up during my presentations, I still wouldn't have a lot of money, because I'm bad with money. But I do it a lot. So this is my slide. What does healthy look like if you can't read that? And it's just a bunch of pictures of different people looking happy. And the idea here wasn't that I wanted to necessarily show you the intricacies of my research, right? Or the different processes or how I tackle it. But really, I just want you to kind of think about what I'm going to talk about. It's kind of just the hook here, right? What does healthy look like? If you watch the presentation, you find out. So, reflecting on year 3, things I liked, used the humor still, had the body language, had the unique intro and outro. The pace was good. Lost the hair, unfortunately. But I had the key questions on the slide, and I still like that. And as far as needing improvement, I didn't talk too fast. I didn't use too much jargon. My slide wasn't too busy. I had stage presence. So overall, I thought my message was clear, and I thought I did it in a way that made it interesting, important, and impressive. And I think that's why I won. We'll never know. They don't show us the cards. So in case you weren't listening to anything I just said, here are 3 takeaways. Okay? The first takeaway, when you're doing a 3MT, keep it simple. All right? Like I said before, I have no doubt that each and every one of you does research that can be made to be complex, and that you know the minutia, and that you can talk about it endlessly at dinner parties to, sort of ears that don't maybe care. But keeping it simple, because you have 3 minutes and you want to make it interesting, right? There's a tremendous quote I love by Marie Curie that says, "Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less." So research is very scary for people who don't know what research is, right? I'm sure when you started your master's, research is still this very daunting thing. But if we can make your research or our research interesting and simple, we might fear it less, and that might be something that we can find interesting. Okay? Number 2 is make it real. Right? This is the make it important. Even if something is interesting to me, I want to know how it relates to me. I want to know how your research has an impact in my life, however small, right? Because then I can talk to people about it. Then I remember it. Make it real. And the last one is be yourself, right? It's cliche, I know. But it's finding what style, finding which mode or method you want to present in that you feel the most comfortable in. Because that comes across, absolutely, right? This is how you make it impressive. You be yourself, you really dig into it. And that's all I got. Any questions?